Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the History of Fan Anime. I'm your host, William Chow, and today's episode is another sort of storytelling episode. Today we're going to talk about, some of my funny stories about Halo. Now, just with this whole entire virus thing going on, and we're spending more time at home, and of course my kids off for spring break right now. And so we've gotten into playing a lot more video games, and one of the video games that we started to play a lot on in co-op mode is Halo. Just finished Halo 3, and now just beating Halo 4. And so that sort of gave you the sort of idea of, well, now that I'm sort of introducing my son to the game of Halo and the whole first-person shooter type of game, I sort of remembered some of the really good and funny stories that we used to have about Halo. Okay, now I thought I sort of told one of them already. When I used to run the anime store, I had one of these buildings at the Slocan Street location. The store was located at the bottom, and right above the store is residential suites. It's the old sort of classic sort of store, home and store type of thing, where basically the idea was that the person would run the store at the bottom and then live on the top, right? So in my case, I ran the store at the bottom and I rented the space up the top. Okay, and so what we did during this situation is that we decided to do some late sort of Friday night gaming, and what we'd do is I'd set up a 4-player multi split screen game on the Xbox downstairs, and then what we did is we'd basically do the same thing upstairs, in the 10th suite. And we do a screen up there. It was a 4-player split screen, and then we basically ran a huge Cat5 Ethernet cable. Basically, we took it, we threw it off the balcony, and then basically ran the cable through the front door into the store, and basically connected the Xbox. So we used like 100 plus feet worth of internet cable to basically make this connection, so that we could have 4 players on top, 4 players in below. I'm sure you've some people have done stories where you've basically had LAN parties and that kind of stuff, and you did this sort of multi-game playing, okay? But that wasn't the fun part of the story. So here we are, we're playing the game. We've got various players upstairs and various players downstairs, and we're playing. And then then all of a sudden, if I remember right, it was Alec was downstairs, and he was playing on the console downstairs, and he was I think we were just playing our usual scenario where the various different weapons and that kind of stuff are on the map and whatnot, and we were playing, right. One of the better players that normally plays the game is Paul. He came into the store at this time, and he basically wanted to join the game, and he said, and of course Alec at this time said, "Oh, hey, okay, I'm gonna go upstairs anyway, and so you can take my place playing the game, right?" So then he gives the controller to Paul, and then Paul starts playing. Now he's again one of the better players. All of a sudden, he starts just killing everybody and starts basically racking up the score, and then basically Alec goes upstairs. And then, of course, the guy's upstairs going, what the hell is happening, man? Like, all of a sudden, like, you're, like, just killing everybody, right? And it's like, well, what the hell's happening, right? And, of course, they look around, look behind them, it's like, well, don't look at me. And they realize that the player that was, that's racking up the score and wasn't playing, isn't playing the game anymore. He's standing behind them and going, oh, yeah, I'm just, getting entertained watching you guys get your asses kicked. And realizing that, it's like, damn, Paul! He took over the controller, and then he's laying waste on everybody. So that was sort of like a funny sort of story that happened with that game. The other really funny game that I remember we did, I do believe it was Anime Evolution 2009. I think it is 2009, 2010. I think it was. It was being held at the Simon Fraser University. And one of the things that was really nice about this thing is that the university has these big, huge, large lecture hall theaters. And again, the lecture hall theaters have these nice projection screens that they'll project the picture onto a large screen behind them. Again, for the use of where teachers, or for example, are gonna want to show slides, or show things from their PowerPoint presentation or whatever, and it goes on the big screen so people can see that, right? So now that's one good usage of using a university or using a college to run an anime convention, that kind of stuff, because they have all the tech supplies and that kind of stuff all in their auditoriums and their classrooms for you to use in that sort of situation. So we decided, hey, wouldn't it be cool, instead of being stuck with a small little tiny screen with split screen Halo, why don't we hook the Halo up these huge, large projection screens in the auditoriums? Okay, so one of the events that we had was one of these Halo tournament things, where basically we took one classroom and we hooked the hooked up the Halo machine, Xbox and Halo, and did the 4-player split screen there. And then again, same thing. We basically hooked up a long, huge Ethernet cable that runs from basically out the back of the of the auditorium of that classroom across the hallway to the next classroom, adjacent to it. And then we did the same thing. We hooked up another Xbox with a 4-player split screen, hooked up to the large projection screen that's in the theater, so that we could basically have one room on this side of the hallway versus the other room on the other side of the hallway in a big match. And then we basically we spent a good chunk of the night playing Halo that way. And basically a lot of the people who came to the convention to just drop in, pick up a controller, and just play the game in this sort of new sort of interactive way. And again, that's sort of one of the things that that's still probably really, really popular in conventions now, is that sort of multiplayer interaction. But unlike in sort of in an internet sort of a situation where you're playing multiplayer in line, you don't know who the other people are that you are playing against. This way, you can actually see you're right beside somebody that's playing, so you can actually see interactively where they are and things like that. It's just a little slightly different sort of experience, and I think that's sort of kind of missing with with sort of what's going on with today's gaming. But again, they've obviously added more features, and they've actually increased the resolution and all that other stuff. But that's another one of those sort of funny sort of Halo stories that we did in the past as well. Now the last story just sort of share with you guys. I'm not a really good first person shooter type of player. I'm more into the strategy games like Langrisser and whatnot. I remember my favorite memory is the fact that once in a while you can customize the game and that kind of stuff. And one of the games that we always loved to play was when we played Team Rocket, and that's basically where you you picked a map which you spawned with carrying the rocket launcher, and then there's basically spare weapons that will spawn, which are also rocket launchers. So basically going around the map, certainly made it a lot sort of even the battlefield a lot, more evenly against the players who were more experienced against the players who weren't more experienced, because you didn't have to be as accurate, you didn't have to do headshot kills and that kind of stuff, just because the blast rates of rockets are a lot bigger. But I always like playing that one. I'm not sure if more of the experienced players would as much, but I always like playing that one anyway. So if you have any funny Halo stories, by all means put it down below, and then we can all share some of our funny stories together. So what you want to do right now is you want to go down below, click like, and click subscribe, and I'll get into more funny stories from the good classic golden era age of anime and video gaming, as well as I got new episodes of Langrisser coming up, as I'm nearing my 1 year anniversary of playing the game, because I hit the 365-day quest. All right, so until next time, see you again.